This episode's brought to you by Loot Crate. Would you classify yourself as a geek, gamer, or pop culture nerd? Then this is the subscription box for you. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items of gamer and pop culture licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/kfgames and enter code KFGames to save $3 on any new subscription. Not that long ago, and depending on where you live, not so far away, Loot Crate blasted off into a voyage across the galaxy, searching the far reaches of space to find universally awesome gear. Using December's Star Wars The Force Awakens loot as the launchpad, we landed on some equally cosmic items from Halo 5 and more. With an exclusive Funko Pop and exclusive shirt in this month's crate, this is the loot that you're looking for. Remember, you only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and when that cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/kfgames and enter code KFGames to save $3 on your new subscription today. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 48 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by the coolest dudes in video games, Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller.
Hello, Tim. It's good to be
I
with
like
you
that.
today.
You kept that for a while.
That's what I do,
That
Tim.
face.
I
It's a good
commit.
face.
I committed to Converse.
Mm-hmm.
Committed to being fat.
Mm-hmm.
Committed to glasses.
Okay.
DC Comics.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yep.
Not committed to Kevin. If
Chicken
you want to
wings?
get rid of Kevin at any second.
At
you
any
let me know.
moment. Yeah, he's having one of
That's
those
what I
days.
said. Yeah, right before we went live, you said you're having one of those days. You need to shut the fuck up.
I mean, I'm allowed to say that out of love, but Kevin, it's not so much that he talks too much, it's that he's not quiet enough. Yeah.
That is a problem. It's a huge problem with Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love him.
Oh, that's not nice. Don't give me a finger, Kevin.
I love him.
You want to
Kevin,
get
don't
paid?
flip people off. Kevin,
No,
you're
it's
better than that. You were raised better than that.
Were you?
He wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know that you were.
So this is a show about video games where every week we talk about why we love video games and all the cool things about them. You can get it early over at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Throw some money that way. You'll get audio and video early. It's a great time. If you don't want to do that, you can wait. youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Topic by topic, day by day. Trying to steal Greg's words.
I love it. No, you're doing it very slow, laid back. We're just here on
Today's been a crazy
talking
day.
about NPR. It's
Yeah.
fun, man.
I got my McDonald's coffee. This is new. Have you tried it yet?
Yes, I just
What do
had
you
my
feel?
first sip. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's no Dunkin'. It's no DD's.
They
Dunkin'
didn't
Donuts
have
up
the
there.
DD.
Oh, I know. For a long time, I'd have mom ship me DD's,
Mm.
but then they started finally selling it on Amazon. Of course, Amazon said they deliver it yesterday. Haven't seen hide nor hair of that there.
I'm
Dunkin'
telling you,
Donuts.
man, Amazon, I love them to death.
Mhm.
They're one of my favorite things in the world. But
Just they're slipping on the.
they're slipping. I feel like they're Amazon now and all they're like, we're doing shit where it's like, we're giving you it before you even order it.
Right.
Like that stuff is kind of fucking up the 2 days shit.
Yeah,
Because I've
apparently.
never had them mess up. And now in the past 6 months, I feel like they've messed up maybe 4 times for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm still okay with that. That's not that bad of a mess up rate.
Sure.
But it's a lot worse than none.
It's true.
So that's an issue. But yeah, I'm excited about this coffee. It does smell like McDonald's coffee.
Yeah. Da 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 da.
I'm loving it for sure. Was there more rigmarole to go
Rigmarole?
through?
Nah.
Yeah,
Go to the
kindoffunny.com/store. There's t-shirts and stuff. Those are cool. There's mugs and other things.
If you're listening to this Friday night as a patron, come see us at PSX
Oh,
tomorrow,
yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
If it's Monday, you missed it, but hopefully it's
yeah.
up.
Hopefully we'll have recaps. We will have recaps, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Are we going to post are we recording the panel?
That would be the plan.
Okay. Cool.
It's one of those, like, that's theoretically going to happen. I haven't, in all my conversations with PlayStation about our PS I Love You XOXO being the only podcast there, I haven't talked to them about, is the soundboard in the back? Is that going to be easy to get off of? Da 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 da. So we'll see. If you remind me after this, I'll hit up my contact.
Yeah, we should look into that because I would like to have that.
Oh, I
for
want
our records.
I've been saying we're going to have it to everybody. I've been lying to everyone's face as
Got
if
it.
this is all set. But then today I looked at Kevin and I said, and Kevin will go from there because we're hoping to do some interviews, go from there, record the panel. And Kevin looked back at me. And when I saw his eye, I realized this is tougher than just saying that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully, as professional as it's been coming together so far, with them wanting our assets and I'm not going to be running anything, I'll just call things out and it'll happen. Maybe they're taping them for us and they'll just give us stuff on a thumb drive.
Ooh, that would be super good. I would like that because then I need to do less work.
Mhm.
And I'm a big fan of
What
not
work are
doing
you going to do there? I'm the one who'll edit that show and put it up. Kevin will be
Yeah,
the
but-
one filming it.
Well,
You're
that's-
over there
that's-
eating nachos
That's
and
the
eating
thing.
Fritos.
I'm feeling I'm going to be shooting it.
What's Kevin going to be doing?
I don't know. Yeah.
Slow
Jerking
jerking
it.
it.
That was
Yeah.
very slow. That wasn't a slow jerk at all.
Yeah, that was like
That was a normal jerk.
0 fucks given jerk.
But, okay, so do it one more time for me. See, it's not, okay, I'll give you it's not slow, but it's definitely a lackadaisical jerk.
Well, what I like about it,
Look at, like, there's
Very
no, like,
loose grip.
there's
there's a
no,
nice,
exactly,
like, there's
exactly.
a twist at the top.
Yeah.
Like a fucking twist off. Oh my God. Yeah. What have you guys been playing lately?
I've been bouncing around a lot. This is our first Gamescast since Thanksgiving, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I went away for Thanksgiving, and right before I left for Thanksgiving, I had finished a game, and I've already forgotten. Oh, Fallout. And there's something else in there. I thought, whatever. I didn't want to jump right into what was the gun? Battlefront. Right, I was playing Battlefront. Right,
Snow fucking.
That's today's topic actually.
So you
That
just said-
published today.
Okay.
You playing the Storm fucking game. So I was playing that as a holdover because I didn't want to get into anything, right?
Yeah.
And I also then we did Let's Plays that were about our backlog, and I played Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I was like, fuck, I want to play this all the way through. I like Assassin's Creed every now and again. From what I played at Syndicate, I was like, yeah, I'm in, okay? But on the docket had been Syndicate, Tomb Raider, waiting for Just Cause, right? Tomb Raider and Syndicate we had, but I didn't want to dive into and get started and then just go away again. So went away, played a whole bunch of stuff on Vita on the flight. Shocking, I know. Played through the Flower. You ever heard of this Flower game?
Flowers on.
You ever heard of Flower?
You played it on Vita?
Yes.
Yes. I
On
played
Vita, is it motion or is it just?
It's motion, yeah.
okay.
Yes, you can. I'm trying to remember. It's motion, but there's a secondary system, but it's not intuitive. It's not normal. It's still weird. Still weird experimental
maybe
shit.
like the touchpad or something.
Can't remember if it was up and down touch or if it was front and back touch or if it was just sticks, but I was pitching and yawn. But it wasn't. I was like, oh, good. I don't have to use the motion because I don't want to be this guy in the plane seat.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then it was still like, oh, motion's the way to go. Also played.
What do you think of Flower?
I've played Flower before.
Oh,
this
okay.
is like my first time in a long time sitting down and like playing. I'm gonna go through every one of the Flower
Got it.
worlds or whatever.
Yeah.
It was fun. It's still the same thing of just like I wish it was a little bit more precise. You know, I
Yeah,
know it's
yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to be relaxing. I was working when Flower came out. Obviously, I covered Flower from the Genesis,
From the seed.
being a seed.
Yeah.
And I understand that's the whole shtick or whatever of it. It's just like free flowing, but for me it was kind of annoying. Like, especially later when you're like bashing buildings and stuff, and it's like, well, God, go back and bank out and come back and try to get it. But it's fine. It was fun. It's good.
I love Flowers.
But it was one of those things where I was like looking at the trophies, like, and then I was like, nah, you know what? No, I don't want to do this one. And I got to look it up because I played a game that I didn't even know was out on. It had slipped under my radar in terms of it. Now we gotta. What have you been playing, Colin? Where I look this up?
Nothing.
Okay. Damn, I thought that would fill
Good.
more time.
You had a very uncallin, but also very callin Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, I haven't felt compelled to play anything, so I haven't. I haven't played a game in like 2 weeks. I think I messed around with Fallout a little bit at some point, and then I booted up Just Cause 3 yesterday to start playing it. But then I got distracted with other stuff. Then I started playing it and realized I didn't really like the control scheme, so I kind of have to get over that. And I don't know. I'm just in one of those positions I think all gamers find themselves in every once in a while, which is there's just nothing out there that I really like that's really, really driving me to play. So I've just been like watching TV and reading books and trying to socialize with friends or doing whatever, other things that are out there. But I'll get back into it. I'm sad in hindsight that I didn't play anything because I feel like I wasted quite a bit of free time.
You didn't waste it though if you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed
That's
it.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
When you try to, I've done it. You've done it. We've done it. When you try to force yourself to game, I have to play this for review or to be able to talk about it or whatever. And
It's not the same.
It's not the way to go.
Yeah.
The game I was trying to say is I played Actual Sunlight. Have you heard of Actual Sunlight?
No.
It's one of those, I like to jump into the Vita store every so often, dig around, try to find something when I'm going on a trip. Found Actual Sunlight, hadn't heard of it, and it's a game all about killing yourself. It's a super depressing look at being depressed and what this is. And it kind of is, it's like, from a very honest place of the creator. It's one of the indie games, obviously, of the creator who makes it. He does a couple things where he even breaks the fourth wall. Like you come out of your apartment one day all depressed, and it's like little 8-bit sprites or whatever moving around, maybe 16-bit. It's little guys, you know what I mean? Like remind me, if you remember, of course, the big-headed Ghostbusters game on a Game Boy. That's what we're dealing with. But you come out and there's two, like you walk around, you interact with things, but like, even if you say hi to the person at the coffee shop, you click on it, then you get like, what's happening in his head and stuff and how depressed he is and how fucked up his life is. And this is the blah, blah, blah. And so there's this one, it's this like young couple and you walk up to them and it's like a paragraph of text from the author being like, hey, if you're a depressed teen, depressed young 20-something, this isn't you. This isn't your life. This is this guy in his late 30s who's depressed. It's all these really heavy themes,
shit.
heavy themes in this interesting thing you're going through and having. Yeah, I guess it's weird because you're moving around and interacting with objects and stuff, but it's really all told through text. You just get there and it's like, and it's all this text. And it's not just like a conversation every time. It's like you're reading a story about how depressed this person was. Super interesting, different. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I was getting into other than like it was supposed to be depressing and about suicide, and that's exactly what it was. And so it was interesting. It sounds weird to say it was interesting because this is like some real people struggle with this kind of depression on this level, and they actually go and take this side out. And so it's interesting to play through it and feel those emotions as that character, but not obviously on the same level. You know what I mean? But it was a fun character experience of going through and playing and feel like, you know, when you meet people who are depressed or people who are a bit more inward and stuff, to have a look at what that's like. You know what I mean? Because we've all been depressed. I've never been depressed on that level, of course.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. It was a good case study. Interesting. About an hour and a half on Vita. And I'm sure it's, probably PlayStation 4 as well. But of course, if it isn't on Vita, I don't play it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Then I got to Chicago and still was like, I want something to get lost in. Like, you know what I mean? This is where I keep talking about, like, I'd love a Western RPG. I just came off Fallout, right? But I would love just a Western RPG on Vita where I'm just going around taking quests and doing this. And so I was toying around, and finally I did the Google of like best RPGs on Vita. Like, tell me what RPGs are on Vita that I haven't reviewed or aren't from my time period or whatever kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's obviously everybody's Persona. And I'm like, well, yeah, I've been saying Persona for a long time too. But then eventually when I was going through, Chrono Trigger popped up. And I was like, oh, right.
Yeah, I saw you tweet about this.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger's on there. And I've never played Chrono Trigger, being a dumb Sega kid or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got that, jumped in, not at all deep into it. Maybe an hour and a half. I got the frog. We're going through a door I just opened up off the organ. I'm pretty stoked about it, what's on the other side. But I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? And that was the thing of like, I think I might be just in that mindset where that's going to scratch the itch the way it's supposed to. Because if you remember in the lead up to not Grandia 2, I apologize. Suikoden 2, right? Coming out on Vita, Jared Petty was hyping me up for it. Everything he said sounded so great. And then I got it, played it, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, and put it down and never got back to it. You know what I mean? And so now I feel like I'm in that thing because there's still a couple more travel situations coming up where I'll be on planes going around and seeing Christine's folks and stuff, where sitting there with this game on mute and making my choices, doing battle sounds like it'll be perfect. So I'm looking forward to that as my game on the go.
That's exciting. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it at the end. Good game.
Don't spoil it for me.
I won't.
I assume I time travel again. I'm not. I can't be trapped this far in the past. I'm gonna get out of the past for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Battlefront, just like here and there.
Still.
Pick up. Yeah, I just think it's fun. Like it's totally broke.
I agree with you 100%.
It's not that
it's
much
fun.
content, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I'm loving it, and like my roommate loves it too, and like we just keep trading off like matches, just playing. And I'm like,
Oh, you're not doing like split screen together?
No, we tried, and I mean it's cool,
Yeah.
but it's with the game like this where it is so much about the graphics and the look and the feel and stuff.
Yeah.
Like having it one screen really, it's nice.
Gotcha.
So we're just trading off on that. The biggest thing though is I tried playing the Walking Dead Telltale games for the first time. So recently I got really into to Walking Dead, all because of Greg after years, but also my girlfriend who randomly started watching the show, which makes no sense. But she got really into it.
She loves good television.
So I read all the comics. I'm caught up on that. I'm like, I should play these games. Like at this point, like I should go back and do it. I played the Game of Thrones game on for Telltale, but I never did Walking Dead. So I tried playing with her, but I wanted to have it that she plays, so I didn't want to touch the controller at all. Just have her do it because she never plays games. She's never played a game ever, and except for like mobile ship. And oh my god, that experience! She loves it. Like we only played 1.5 episodes.
Gotcha.
That took like 4 hours though. Like it took so long to the point that it was like, oh my god, it's frustrating. But like even now, she's like, I can't wait to come back and play. Like,
That's awesome. That's really
she's
cool.
Really, she's like, I'm thinking about it. What happens to Clem? I want to know what happens to Clem. I'm like, this is great.
You're like, I know. Clem.
But it's just funny because like seeing a gamer or seeing someone that doesn't play games is like, there's certain things like, how do you not get this? How does this not make sense? But you're like, oh well, it just doesn't make sense because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
But it's like she'll get the movement down, but then the camera, it's like.
For those doing audio
like,
listens, he's jerking around.
It's slow and jerky, and it's like
Slow and jerky
every
around.
single chance that a zombie attacks her that could kill her, she's died.
It's over.
Multiple times, and it's like it's funny watching it. And like, oh man, she gets super into it, and like every single choice, she's just like thinks it means the world.
Does
like,
she pause it, or does she like actually make the choice before it expires?
Oh, you can pause it.
Yeah, you could hit like PlayStation button or hit start. I think even to pause it and then be like, oh man, what are we gonna do?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, that would explaining that to her would probably break her brain.
Sure. Well, no, it's like part of the fun, right? Is the meter counting down. Like, fuck, I hate this guy, but what do I do? What do I say?
Yeah, it's cool though. But I've been really enjoying
That's
that. And then I dabbled in the Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Ah.
Which is what this topic is about,
Oh,
actually.
well,
Yeah.
I'm not done.
Yeah, okay.
I came back from Chicago
Uh-huh.
in my Vita escapades, played Rise of the Tomb Raider, beat Rise of the Tomb Raider last night. Then I jumped into Just Cause 3.
Oh, okay.
Played some of that, and then, or actually reverse those in this order, not that it all matters to you. We jumped in and did more of the Arkham Knight DLC. So there you go. Sorry.
You had a real busy fucking time.
I did. Well, I came home, and then it was like, I got to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I was also ready just to chill out and be left alone.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't enjoy home, but you got to talk to people.
Yeah.
But so like Saturday and Sunday, pretty much played Rise of the Tomb Raider as much as I wanted to. Beat it last night. And then I was like, cool, now I can get Just Cause 3 in so I can have something to talk about today.
Yeah.
Just Cause 3 did that normal bullshit where you put it in. It's like, I'm loading it up. You're like, oh, great, it's loaded up. You go and it's like, oh, now I got to install. And I'm like, I just want to play
it's like,
something.
I'm done.
Jumped out and did the Catwoman Robin mission in Arkham Knight and then went in and started chipping away at like the car challenges that have been DLC added and the combat rooms that have been added.
Oh, cool.
I want those trophies. I hate, Colin will feel me on this one. High five preemptively. I hate when you have the platinum trophy, but then they add the DLC and it drops like, now you have 76%, but you have the platinum. That can't stand.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Damn, that's some shady shit. Definitely
It's a good
not
move to
down
get me
with
to go
that.
back.
Yeah.
Except for DC Universe Online, where I have like the platinum and 15% of the trophies because they've
That's
added so many goddamn raid
So
trophies.
funny. All right, so the topic for today is Rise of the Tomb Raider. I want you to give your thoughts and impressions on it. Now, people keep getting super upset about the way these videos are headlined, where they're like, the headline
I
is,
saw it today. Don't be clickbaity.
and we keep getting that. And it's why you need to play blank game.
Sure.
Right? I saw the backlash. I hear you. I totally get it. So I changed it to why you should play instead of need to. Because need, I get a little aggressive.
Yeah.
And like people, if they're gonna be upset about it, really all it means is it's us discussing
Why you
the
may
game.
want to play.
Yeah.
Why you may or may not enjoy Rise of the Tomb Raider.
So that's the thing, is like people are just getting super upset, and it's like, you know what I
Trigger
mean.
warning. We're going to give you an opinion on this game.
Right? So I'm trying to adapt and trying to find something that like works.
Yeah.
So from now on, I'm going to try doing, should I play Tomb Raider?
Okay. Will that be accused of being clickbaity as well?
I don't care. I mean, I'm
Well,
trying,
that's what
guys.
I'm saying. Well, no, I think it's just part of like at what point do we just bite down and say we're kind of funny?
Well,
This is what we
all
want.
right, let's talk
Here we go. Colin's off leash.
Let's talk
The
about
bulldog is in the cat house.
in the cat house.
Meow.
The Battlefront, I was really confused. I went back and I just yesterday looked at the Battlefront YouTube video that we did or whatever for this show. And like a 3-to-1 like to dislike ratio, which is pretty little high.
I think
for
it's
us.
the worst that we've ever
Yeah,
done.
and I was like, okay, people are basing this there. You can't ignore a lot of this, Tim, because it's a lot of bullshit in the sense that like anyone who actually listened to the video knew that like I was not impressed at all with what I've seen of the game and that I think it's a waste and all this kind of stuff. So people that were, when you read a lot of the comments, you can just really tell who actually watched,
Saw the headline, clicked on it, and
So
yeah.
like, sure, I totally get
just,
that.
don't
I'm not
let them change.
I'm not basing that just off the
Cares.
Star Wars thing. I'm basing it also off all of the. This has been an ongoing process.
Yeah, it is, but you have to understand this is it's a small group of people complaining about
Yep.
things, and I'm just saying you got to take
Title
that into
this
context.
one Rise of the Tomb Raider Game of the Year. Nip
Question
slip
mark?
free iPhone.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm just saying. I'm letting you guys
We're
know that I do
listening.
pay attention to this stuff, and like I get it. But yeah, it's one of those things of just like again. When I title it, "Why You Should Play This." Yeah, you were talking down about it. We were also talking about what we did like about it. We're not saying it's a perfect game, and that's why we're not saying review, because we're not like, it's just saying here's the things we like about these games. But
Well, I think what I'm saying is that there is a balanced discussion about it. The comments I think were like completely out of control on that video,
Yeah.
and were quite indicative of a group of people that didn't watch the video, and I'm sure the analytics will play that out too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just throwing that out there because I was quite disappointed actually with the response on that video, just in the sense of like, what's wrong with everybody? Like, first of all, why can't you embrace a game that you like? Why does it have to be so cool to hate a certain game? I think Battlefront's super underwhelming from that's why I've not messed around with it, in the sense that I want to play a campaign, I want to do all these things, but I don't care if people enjoy it. It's the same thing, like I'll shit on Clash of Clans all day, but if you enjoy the game, whatever you want to do is fine with me. I just don't understand why people get off on, well, someone likes this game, therefore thumbs down, therefore angry comment,
off.
and therefore paid off. Yeah, EA totally paid us for that Battlefront video, in which I said it was a half-baked casual game that is missing all these things that I want. Yeah, they really got some bang for their buck on that video.
Well,
No
see,
doubt about
the
it.
real trick is they paid us all to argue about if Dead Space 1 or 2 is better. They drum it back up
yeah.
so that people buy Dead Space 3, get it to that 6 million mark, make a Dead Space 4.
Oh my God. So
Tomb
there's
Raider.
lots of layers to this, but Tomb Raider.
I
what do
played
you
and
think?
beat Rise of the Tomb Raider. Really enjoyed it. Here at the end of it now that credits have rolled and everything else, I feel like it is very much the same deal with the original Tomb Raider game, the reboot. You know what I'm saying here? The PS4,
Yeah.
Xbox One. No, that would be Definitive Edition. It's so confusing. The goddamn Camilla Luddington Tomb Raider.
PS3, Xbox 360, and then PS4 and Xbox One.
Amazing gameplay. Totally awesome. Has its hooks in you. Forgettable story. Why am I moving? That was my thing with your last Tomb Raider, right? Of like, people are dying and getting picked off and da-da-da. And it's like, why do I care about any of these guys? Like, who are these people? You know what I mean? And it was the same. Then you jump into this game, and from the get-go, you're with a guy, or not from the get-go, but in the beginning of the game, you're with that guy, right? And you're going through, and it wasn't for a while that I was like, oh, he's from the last game? I assume, okay, sure, whatever. He's from the last game. You know what I mean? I played and loved the last game and don't remember this dude. And I have a feeling, like, right now, if you're asking me, what happens in the first Tomb Raider, right? They get stranded, the island's all fucked up, and there's like a ghost at the end that does something. I don't recall what her deal was, but there's a ghost that does something. Am I wrong? You know it for you get to the end and there's a ghost or whatever, and you put her back in her trap and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I don't okay, whatever. And I have a feeling if you ask me a year from now what this Tomb Raider is, I'll be able to give you more of like, well, it was this guy that and it was this. Like I can give you all of that, but they're doing this whole thing where there's like this overarching group of bad guys organization that's clearly going to be the next game, and it's like, I just like exploring shit. You know what I mean? Like the best parts of, and that all sounded a little bit negative, I know. The best parts of Rise of the Tomb Raider are just exploring and hunting and upgrading and going. Combat isn't its strong suit, I don't feel like, and they don't shove it down your throat until the end. At the end, they do the traditional video game bullshit of like, all right, you just got to get up this one last peak. So you're going to go down this linear hallway, and there'll be 3 waves of increasingly harder enemies. Then you'll get here. There'll be a boss fight where harder enemies is just like, oh, all right, guys, this is not why I like this game. You know what I mean? Everything up until here has been fantastic. The biggest disappointment for me, and this is one of those things of this is a meta disappointment, right? Is the fact that it's not on PS4 because this is a game I would have platinumed. I don't care. I don't know what my achievement score is. That doesn't do anything for me, right? So I'm not going to 1000% this. If this was a PS4 game, now that I've beaten it and rolled credits, I would totally go back, find the other tombs, upgrade all my weapons, get more out of that game. And that's just
That's a personal thing, but
that's a Greg Miller block,
Yeah.
not a knock against the game block. You know what I mean? So if you're into that, that's great. But the way it ends, then it does end for me with that like bad taste in my mouth of like, that helicopter fight, that was kind of frustrating. Why was it like that? And why did this happen? But that aside, that tiny little bit at the end, everything else is so much fun to go do. You know what I mean? It's exactly what I loved about Tomb Raider Expanded. All right, cool, I've killed this thing and I've got this pelt, so now I'm going to do this. And then, I'm so much closer to getting more arrows. I just have to go out and find this exotic beast and do this, that, and the other. And it's fun. It's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, my favorite thing about it is that it's more Uncharted style gameplay. And I don't think that enough games do that. And it's especially not well.
Yeah.
We got third person action games and shooter games, but like that's kind of its own mini genre where it's like this linear-ish story based like thing where every single moment the character looks like it's about to die. Like it's never just like things are slightly
pulp
bad.
adventure, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like they jump across the cliff and the mountain behind them explodes.
Of course, they're gonna fall and slide down.
And like that, it's that moment to moment like pulse pounding. There is no sense of pacing. It is just go, 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 go. And like I love that. And I like that it is more. And I feel like you can't take those comparisons too far though, because they are different games. Yeah. And it's not like you can, because I've seen a lot of people like saying like, oh, this is better Uncharted. And it's like
it's way different than Uncharted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing of like I'm saying, my favorite parts are like when you get to a new base camp and you're going through and unlocking these areas, and then it was like an RPG where there's the side quests around you, right? Like, here's my main objective, but this guy's giving me something, so I'm gonna do that. And now this has opened up these new points of interest, so I'm gonna go do. And like they did this thing where it was like I was 100%ing the first 3 or 4 areas before I was like, okay, I'm on a roll now of the story where I'm just like, nope, I'm here, great, let's get everything here. And that's not Uncharted. Uncharted is point A to B to C to D.
Yeah, I mean, I personally enjoy that type of gameplay a bit more.
Yeah,
it's more my pacing and style.
Sure, but you can ignore that.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean? And that's the cool thing. thing. I remember in Uncharted 2, there's the moment when we get to the village. I thought I was going to start doing that. I thought we were going to get things, and I'm happy it didn't.
Excuse me, sir. Can you find more of my chickens? Like, no, I gotta get out of here.
But the game's beautiful. Like that's
Oh my
something
God,
that I'm just
yeah.
like, it's like, holy shit, they are pushing things with this, and like it very much excites me.
But what's
more.
weird for me, and Colin pointed out too, so I'm not crazy, is the fact that the game is beautiful and its moment-to-moment gameplay stunning. The cutscenes don't run well. The cutscenes pop up and they're like framey and like they're not done in engine, which is weird. You know what I mean? And like that, not, you know, like if you watch The Last of Us or something, like you see just the same models moving in and out, so it's fine. Whereas here they try to do more in the cutscenes, which make it look worse overall, which is a really weird thing.
That's interesting. I didn't really notice that, but I mean, thinking about it, that does.
Like next time you're
sense.
in a cutscene, just watch the way they move and animate. Unless it's my Xbox dying, it's framing.
I mean, no, it's one of those things that didn't stand out to me, but when you say that, I'm like, that's right.
Yeah,
that is how it is.
The one thing that I really, really dug, I imagine this is a design choice that they were behind and understood at Crystal Dynamics, is that in Tomb Raider, you start this thing, Lara wasn't meant for this life. Wasn't what she was out to set to do and kill people, right? So she is like scared, cowering, a little bit, you know, shaken, all this different stuff. That is non-existent in this game. Like she is oh yeah, right. I survived the island with the fucking weird ghost.
Yeah.
I'm out to fucking murder people if I have to. You know what I mean? And that's where like I liked the combat more in this one because I felt like up until the end, there was a lot less Uncharted gameplay of slammed up against a rock shooting people. It was like I move into an area and if I want I can go in guns blazing, or I can really be stealthy, and I was stealthy every time, and I'd go through and choke people out and kill them and, you know, poison grenade or arrow people and all this different stuff. And it was like I felt powerful. I felt like they were in my world now. And even later on in the story, there's you overhear a conversation. If it's not like part of the story, you know how if you listen to guards and let them talk, you overhear a conversation of like, there's this one guard and they're like, is this your first time working on one of these operations? And he's like, no, I was actually on this island a while back where the Croft woman was, and I don't know how she got out of that alive. And it's like, yeah, right, fuck, I have history. You know what I mean? Like these people should be scared of me.
Well, what's cool about that is, and I got this feeling, but you talking about the secret organization or whatever, like really drives it home, where the franchise now kind of reminds me of James Bond, where it's the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, where it's like you're not really expected to know what happened in the previous one. They'll tell you what you need to know, and there is like, oh, there's this bigger thing out there, but it's more just have fun, just go. Like it's about the character, and it's also similar that Daniel Craig in Casino Royale was becoming James Bond in the same way that Laura was becoming Lara Croft, and now this is kind of the more, I wouldn't say Quantum of Solace, but I would say more like the Skyfall of it. And that's cool. Yeah,
and that's the one, like, it's weird for me that it's like the inverse of what I normally think of when I think of a game and character progression, where like the game would tell me through the cutscenes and the story that she's getting stronger and and this is what's happening. Whereas now the story is there, but even like your motivations are a bit shaky, I think, where you get to the end and no spoilers, there's no choice to be made, but like Lara has a choice in her cutscene, you know what I mean? Like for her to make, and she makes the one choice and it's like, okay, should that affect me more? Should it affect me less? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really, whatever, cool, you did what you had to do kind of thing. Whereas, like, I feel like from playing playing as her in the game and seeing the way people are afraid of her and how I took her in, and she never, ever was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? There's so many bad guys. It was just like, all right, cool. And just fucking choking people. Stabbing people.
So the tombs were kind of one of the big selling points of this game going into it. Like, do you think that they lived up to the hype and were they fun?
They were fun, yes. I guess what's the hype? When people were saying there was going to be tombs in this game, and again, this is the luxury we have, right? Where I was radio silent on this. I didn't want to know about it. I'm like, oh, more Tomb Raider? Totally in. We went and did 2 Let's Plays with them, right? I wasn't on one of them. And the one we went to, we showed up late. We played a little bit to get the controls, and then we did that one area. And I was like, oh, this is a really cool hub world. Jumping into the tombs, I was expecting them to, like, I feel like when I'm thinking of tombs, like the way I was thinking we were getting into, I was thinking like Assassin's Creed 2-ish, where you'd find those secret areas to go in to get better armor or whatever, and they kind of went on a little bit too long. I always felt like they were fun and it was cool, and like I would do that again, clear the map before I went on the mission. I was expecting these to be too long. These are, I thought, really tidbits. They're smaller than I thought they'd be. You know what I mean? Like, I thought these tombs would be something that I'd jump into and be there for 45 minutes trying to be off on my side. It's not that at all. It's like 20, and you get in there and it's logical where you should go and what you should do. Like, I think back to original Tomb Raider, and I'm talking about now, you know, fucking really pointy Lara Croft, right? And I remember playing that game and getting to puzzles and being like, what the fuck do they want me to do? That never happened here. You know what I mean? Which I like. I like the fact for this kind of action game.
I mean, they remind me of the Prince of Persia games 2 gens ago. My God,
PS2?
I can't believe they're not last.
Sands
gen.
of Time?
Yeah, that trilogy where it's like you enter the room, and the camera kind of swoops around and shows you where you're supposed to go. So it's less of a puzzle and more of like a here's what you're doing, figure it out.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that more. And like one of my biggest critiques of Uncharted is I don't like the puzzles, and I think they're a little too just like they're unnecessarily complicated and way too simple at the same time. Whereas these, I'm like, I like this. This is just it's fun to do.
Exactly. I'll agree with that. Where I like in this back to your point, like I don't hate Uncharted puzzles, but I do understand what you're talking about. Where you're like you're barreling down a hill, and then there's this hard stop of like, well, what the fuck do I do here? You know, move these things around, twist that, and like this is not that. This is you walk in, it's like, all right, platform over there, do this thing, slam that into the ice block, then try to how do I balance the weight here? Oh, okay, Yeah, there's action to the puzzles if that makes sense. But they were fun. No, like that. But like for me, it was like. It totally nails. Like, I always talked about it with the original Tomb Raider, the fact that it nails being a video game. It's unabashedly a video game. You kill something and you get the nuts and bolts, and you're like, okay, whatever. I got resources and I get to build something better. Same thing here, except now I feel like it's even more of a video game where you hit the pause button. It's like, here's all the shit you have to collect. Here's how much of it you've collected. Here's where it is. If you get that, then so like I was walking in and everywhere I'd go, every corner I would turn, I like boom, Survivor Sense. And see what glows yellow, and then try to go get it and investigate, and then come back to base camp. Like, what did I need to build something? Oh, right there it is.
Did you like the Survivor Sense thing?
I did. Yeah, I think it's I remember when it first got put in the last Tomb Raider, and it was like one of those things that people were like, what is that? And it was like, oh, cool. And like here it's the same way, and I feel like there's more to collect. There's more to do. It felt like there was more to build out and stuff. My one knock, I guess, is that like. When I was getting the skill points, which at the end just come like fucking water. Like I was like, I'd get to a thing and I had a 5 ready to put in. When you were doing it like tier 1 and 2 skill points, I feel like after I put in the first 5, I was kind of like, yeah, the rest of these suck. You know what I mean? And I didn't really pay attention to the fact that putting more in then would unlock the third one. I was like, oh, whatever, these all suck. I wasn't going down to see what 3 was, where 3 is where it's like, oh, that's really cool. So for anybody at home, getting ready to play this, make sure you go and investigate tier 3 and then just dump the skill points into whatever you need to get to 3 on whatever one you want to go to. Because once you did that, I was like, oh, awesome. Now I'm even more badass where I don't even have to aim my arrows. I just pull them up and zoom in and it automatically locks the heads and shit. I was like, oh, great. Okay, cool.
Any closing thoughts on it?
A lot of fun. You know what I mean? Colin came out early and was watching me play it and stuff. He's like, well, how is it? I'm like, it's climbing my list of games. I would say it's in my top 10 for the year for sure. I think some people were talking to me online about it after I was like, I beat it in game of the year for sure. And I was like, an argument could be made. I don't think it's mine. I think it's definitely in the running for like my favorite games of the year. Tons of fun with it. Like I said, I think the points I need to give it are the fact that I would have easily sat there and platinumed it. You know what I mean? I would have sat there like I did with Fallout or like I tried with Metal Gear, where I would have come back and done more and more with it. Like there's more game there than I played, and I enjoyed what I played.
Cool.